It's part 7 of our conversation with Rick Emmett. I'm John Bowden from Rocky Street Music. When's the doc coming up? I know one interview you said possibly September.
That's what they were shooting for the TIFF, for the Toronto International Film Festival in September, but that, COVID has stuck a stick of dynamite in that and blown it all up, so who knows what's going to happen there. And yesterday somebody asked me about this, and so I sent emails and asked, and it looks to me like the documentary folks are still feeling like late 2020 is they might be going direct to Netflix with it, who knows, but they're looking to release sometime around there. And the box set from Round Hill, they're feeling like early 2021.
Okay.
So, but, as I said, in other interviews, and maybe in this one, I can't even remember now, but it's like a game of golf, right? You hit it, you go find it, and you play it where it lies. Like, nobody knows what tomorrow is necessarily going to be. Yeah, they're all playing hockey now, but if somebody tests positive, they'll shut that down in a hurry, I'll give you a story, and then you can hear the whole thing. We once had the British band UFO. We're going to open for us on a run through the southern, like Texas and Louisiana or something.
Michael Schenker.
Yeah, although Michael wasn't in the band at this point. They had to replace him for, reasons. But the bass player was a guy named Pete Way, and I think he was one of the original guys. And the singer was Phil Mogg. And so the first time that we meet, it's in an arena somewhere, I don't know, Lubbock, Texas, or Corpus Christi or someplace, right? And the seats aren't on the floor yet. The stage is up. We're doing sound checks, and I'm standing out on the floor halfway to the recording console. And here comes the band in with their girlfriends and their entourage, and they're rock stars. They got the, lame jackets and the snakeskin boots and I'm this humble Canadian guy standing there, right? And they come up, and the road manager, promoter, people are standing around, and they introduce me, and Pete Way with his, skinny French model girlfriend and stuff, and he's looking completely sort of like zoned out. And he leans in really close to me. He goes, "Hi, mate, you got any toot?" So the first thing he asks me is, "Do I have coke?" Right? Like, he's meeting a musician for the first time. We're about to do a tour together. He's just going right to him. This is priority. You got any toot? No, I'm sorry, Pete. Fresh out. I am Canadian, though. Can I offer you a cold beer? Because we have those.
Listening to these albums, well, did you go back? The albums that are being re-released, that's happening a lot now. Fans are eating it up because there's that fervor. There's almost a hunger and a knowingness that we're going in 10 years, 15 years, there won't be a Beatle probably on the earth. And the fans' farewell tours are all over the place. Not right now, but the fans are really open, I think, to listening to deeper tracks on albums, and not on the radio. It doesn't show on the radio, of course. It's worse now than it's ever been. Classic rock radio is different now. We're going into we've added decades to classic rock now. What was it like for you? This is it's not a final nail on the coffin, but it's a revisit of things that you've done. I mean, how did you look at this body of work? What was your thoughts with this re-release of all this stuff? It's a lot of music.
Yeah, it is. And the thing that's funny too, of course, is that the Triumph will have a box set early 2021 that Round Hill will do. But, Round Hill right now, the priority is, hey, we just put out these 11 albums for streaming, and I'm sure it's a litmus test that if it goes well, they might go, well, hey, let's do a vinyl of this one, or let's do because that's what they're doing. They're, bringing the past, and it's become a part of my present that, here I am talking to you because we're doing these days of promotion and interviews in media in order to try, which I haven't done this in a long, long time. I went, when the mascot thing came out, I probably did 2 or 3 days of that back then for that project. But as you say, there's now this accumulation of the Triumph thing, my own history. And my own history, I've actually made more records on my own than I made when I was in Triumph. So my own history is actually a larger history than the Triumph one for me, but not for the public. generally speaking, and not for the media, because you can't eclipse the size of that. But here's all this stuff, and it's in my present, but I still have a present of my own where I actually am feeling kind of liberated by the nature of things. Like the COVID thing has actually worked out kind of well for me. It's allowed me to be able to focus more. Like, I would often be the kind of guy that would spend a lot of time watching baseball on TV, but there hasn't been baseball on TV. So, you know, I go, okay, I'll sit down and I'll get out my notebook and I'll do some writing. And so I've done more writing in the last little while than I've done maybe ever in my life. So creatively, it's kind of been a nice thing to be given the time to take stock. And plus there's this whole thing of becoming very comfortable with my role in life. Like the whole thing of, you know, my wife and I had our 44th anniversary, and you know, what's my absolute priority and number one thing is that relationship in my life is the most important thing. And then my family and my kids and my grandkids and all of that stuff. Like, nothing matters more than that. And so there's a nice perspective that I get. It doesn't matter how much somebody else is maybe saying, hey, here's this giant snowball that we're pushing off the top of the mountain. We're hoping it's going to create an avalanche of, you know, interest in triumph, a renewed interest in your past. I go, I don't care about my past. You know, what I care about is what are we having for dinner? You know, like, you know, that's what really matters to me. Is I want to be here. And I mean, this is old Zen philosophy stuff, but you don't want to be in the past, because the past is where regret lives. And if you spend too much time there, you're going to have too much regret. And you don't want to be in the future over here, because this is where anxiety lives. And if you're there, you're just going to be giving yourself all of these worries and concerns, and they may never happen. So why are you doing that? Don't do that to yourself. Just be right here. Just be right here in the present. Be now. And just let this be. And you'll actually feel better about being in your own skin. And so I'm 67 and my skin is, you know, it's not what it used to be. And neither my bones and, you know, my back. But I think I'm okay with all of that. I think I've sort of gotten to the point where I'm going, no, this is how it works. And this is what my now is. And I'm pretty good with it. So now when it comes to music and you know, discographies and whatever, to me the now is about, and I think some people find this by actual performance. When you get up on a stage, there's no better now than that. Like, oh my God, there's this sort of kinetic exchange that's happening with the music and, you know, yourself, and then all of these people in the seats and their energy, and then this music that's in the air. Oh, there's just this thing that's happening that's an incredible thing. And it's addictive, and it's a wonderful thing. And believe me, I've known it on many, many levels. Like us festivals with 250,000 people, small rooms with 10 people, where it's, you could hear a pin dropping, you can hear ghosts breathing. Like that's how good it is, you know.
The US Festival thing comes up on my timeline all the time.
Make sure you comment on our videos, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. And buy a t-shirt, help support our channel, link in the description of this video. I'm John Bowden from Rock History Music.